All right, so we're going to go over our August 2026 real estate market update. We're going to go over all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I am a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this is our monthly staple video. It's going to be our August 2026 real estate market update. We're going to go over all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, California. We're going to talk about new inventory coming on the market, how much active inventory is out there, how long the average home is taken to sell, and then what's going on with real estate prices, and we're going to compare today's stats versus where they were at 12 months ago. But before I get to all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously, it helps me and it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. We have new videos that we put out each and every week, and it's all just kind of local based real estate info, just like this. So talking about market updates or best neighborhood recommendation, worst neighborhood recommendation, all types of local stuff like that. So if you want to see more of that, the best way to do that is hit like to the video and hit subscribe, and you'll be seeing those new videos that we put out each and every week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. You can see my information either down below or at the end of the video. You're going to see my name, my phone number, and my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Happy to answer any questions you may have, help point you in the right direction, or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, I'd love to be a resource for you. Obviously, that's how I earn a living, so I'd love the opportunity to help you and your family. So cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into all the stats. We're gonna start, our first stat that we're gonna talk about is the total number of new listings. We'll start with the city of Temecula, and then we'll start with a year ago. So 1 year ago in Temecula, in 1 year in August 2025 in Temecula, there was a total of 189 new listings that came up for sale on the market. And then this year, we're down just a little bit. It's a total of 182 new listings. So it's a 4% decrease, not super significant, but last month we saw, decreases in all three cities as far as new listings. And I really think that's played out over the stats that I've seen throughout the state, is there's just less new listings coming up on the market, and the other two cities kind of follow the same trend. So City Murrieta, a year ago, the total number of new listings coming up on the market was 199, and this year it's down to 182. So it's a little bit bigger change. It's a 9% decrease year over year. And then City of Menifee actually had the largest change. So last year in Menifee, the total number of new listings was 225, and we are down to 165 this year. So that is 60 less homes this year compared to last year. That's a 27% decrease. That's a pretty big change for sure. And it's kind of, it goes in play with what we saw last month. And what I've been seeing throughout the state is just there's less new inventory coming up on the market. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the total number of active listings. And basically this is, hey, if I'm a home buyer and I want to look at all the available homes for sale that are in Temecula, how many homes are there out there for me to choose from? So regardless of square footage, size, location, just the total market, how much is out there. So City of Temecula, a year ago, there was a total of 582 available homes to choose from. This year we are down 12% to 515. So that's a pretty significant change, I would say. I mean, what's that, 67 less homes this year compared to last year? I think that's pretty significant, and especially we've seen now a couple months now of less new inventory coming up on the market. And this is really supposed to be the busiest time of year for our real estate market. So this is, August, summertime, as kids are getting ready to start school, etc. And it's definitely been a little bit sluggish just as far as, overall transactions, inventory coming up. And I think that's fair to say. I think I've seen that on my listings as well. So it's yeah, kind of interesting. Definitely signs of a slowing real estate market for sure. City of Murrieta, a year ago, there was a total of 506 available homes to choose from. This year we are down to 492. So you're still seeing a decrease. Not quite as lot big of a change, but there's what is that? 14 less homes this year compared to last year. City of Menifee, a year ago, there was a total of 573 available homes to choose from. And this year, it's down pretty drastically. It's down to 422 available. So that's a 26% decrease in total number of listings in Menifee. Definitely the biggest change there. And I think that goes into play with what we're seeing as far as new inventory, right? If there's way less new inventory, there's going to be less active and available as well. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the average days on market for each city. And this is basically, hey, for each city, how long is the average home taken to sell, right? How many days is that home listed for sale to the public before they accept an offer from an interested buyer? City of Temecula, a year ago, the average home was selling in 40 days. And then this year, it's actually down slightly to 34 days. So it's a 15% change, but it's, 6 days. So homes are selling almost a week faster this year compared to last year. So it's kind of interesting, right? So we've seen, less inventory, it's coming on the market, less inventory out there to choose from, but what is selling, at the same pace or just a little bit quicker on average. So, less transactions, but the buyers that are out there are snapping the homes up as quickly as they were a year ago, at least. So, City Murrieta, a year ago, the average home was selling in 41 days. This year, it's up to 43 days, so an additional 2 days. 5% change. Not super significant there, more or less the same. But again, to me, I think it's interesting with where inventory is, right? The homes are selling, just as quickly. So, City of Menifee, a year ago, the average home was selling in 40 days. It's now up to 45 days. So it's almost taking a week longer to sell now on average. It's a 12% change year over year. We're getting, I guess, Menifee and Murrieta, both of them, we're getting closer to like a 60-day average. We're not quite there yet, but again, definitely some signs of slowing market there. I thought I would see some bigger changes with what's going on with the inventory stuff, but homes are selling relatively quickly, maybe slugging along a little bit in Murrieta and Menifee. All right, so the last stat we're going to talk about is the average sales price for each city. And this is basically, adding up all the homes that have sold and, what is that average sales price for each. So in the city of Temecula, a year ago, so August 2025, the average home was selling for $912,000. And this year, the average home is now up to $923,000. So it's a 1% increase. Not significant as far as I'm concerned. The average home in Temecula has been about in the mid eights. So, we're seeing a little bit higher price point here. I think I've talked about this before, but a few outliers here and there, a few extra high-end sales, $3 million sales, and a few less, $400,000 condo sales can really kind of fluctuate this number pretty drastically. But even with what's going on with inventory, less inventory coming on the market, less homes out there to choose from. Home prices are staying relatively flat with just a slight increase in Temecula, at least. City Murrieta, we actually saw a slight decrease. So a year ago, the average home was selling for $730,000. It is now showing $703,000 this month, which is a 4% decrease. It's kind of low. Like usually Murrieta average sales price is more in the mid sevens. So to see 703, it's a pretty low number, I would say. So that's something to keep an eye on, at least that I want to pay attention to over the next couple months. And then city of Menifee, we saw a slight increase as well. So a year ago, the average home in Menifee was selling for $571,000, and it's now up to $580,000. 2% increase, an extra $9,000 on the average sales price. More or less, again, we're kind of seeing, I think it's fair to say, pretty flat market across the board. Definitely a slowing market, less transactions, less new listings. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But this is supposed to be, prime time for real estate, and summer months, and we haven't really seen that boom, yeah, that I guess that oomph, right? I think it's fair to say that for everyone kind of understands that affordability is difficult, not just for houses, not just for rentals, not just, I mean, just on a daily basis, right? Going to the grocery store, gas, it just utilities, everything is quite a bit more expensive. I think people feel that on a daily basis. And I think that affects, these transactions because these are, you're spending hundreds of $1,000s and you just don't see as many people that are pulling the trigger right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the market over the next handful of months. Anyways, hope that helps, guys. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Call, text, email. Hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.